We're live.
Hell yeah.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of our subscribers. We are Black Lodge Games. I am Ginger Frazier, and as always, I am joined by my co-host here,
Young Steve Buscemi, as always.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
It looks like we got
one last time this year.
Yeah. Got some people already in the chat here, which is great.
Awesome.
Seeing that you're talking about all the different games that you play and that you want to play. We got some filthy 5e scrubs in here, but at least they recognize that it is not their fault, and it is the fault of their horrible players that will only play 5e. Anyway, this stream almost didn't happen. But
more travel horseshit.
But Nick was able to get his get on a flight and get here. So we are happy that he made it.
Indeed.
Got some people saying I'm excited to get into Axe next year. How about everyone else?
Same.
Absolutely. We were actually just talking about that before this because I got the Poplar Wood slipcase ordered and whatnot on the Kickstarter. But I've been reading the rule book, the main rule book, because I'm going to be starting an Axe campaign probably mid-January, I think, is when we'll start. And went through, created a character last night. We're going to do some more of that after the stream is over. And I'm really liking it so far. Like, really, really liking it. McCrease has done a really, really good job. And I can't wait to have...
Everything about it makes sense that I've heard you talk about and that I've skimmed through as well. So, which is an exceptional rarity for everything to just not only make sense. Well, make sense mechanically and make sense logically in the world.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we got someone. I think they said they want to make their own RPG.
Oh, hell yeah!
That was up here somewhere. I don't remember who it was, but if I think it might be Red Diamond. Let's see here. It says if I do, I'll probably start a YouTube channel for it.
You should.
If it's not Red Diamond, you should make a YouTube channel anyway. Just do it. Start making content. We really enjoy meeting all of you guys because it seems like a lot of you kind of like the same sorts of things that we do, or at least find what we say interesting, and we like hearing other interesting people.
Needs to be more.
So definitely let's basically, like, one of the reasons we started the channel was just because all of the advice out there is such terrible,
awful,
horrible horse shit, and it's all about 5e and literally nothing else.
It's either bad advice or non-advice. It's the same content, which is here's a list of feats that are good for your Legolas Archer build. Like, that's not even advice per se. It's non-content. This information is already in there. You're just recapitulating what's already in a book.
What all the other YouTubers have already said.
Many times.
And the other thing is that the 5e content market is like totally saturated. So if you're doing,
and it's about to be, who knows what's going to happen with 6e or whatever they're going to call it. And they're going to not try and make it incompatible, but not only is it oversaturated, it has been for quite a long time. That's also probably going to be fairly considerably disrupted, I think, in the next year, right? That's
I think April.
Damn. Okay.
Which is also they fired everyone,
right?
Which to me means it's done and basically being the books are being produced and everything right now. Let's see here. I honestly agree about that with the TTRPG advice. It's almost all bad. There are some really good channels out there. Most of them are fairly small though. Like ours. We've obviously grown significantly in the last month. But it's most of the channels that are doing interesting stuff and talking about interesting things are much, much smaller than like Ginny D or Matt Colville or any of those people. Let me see here. And so what you're saying with Axe though about everything making sense is like true, and it's also like it was even like I was looking through like the experience rules last night because it's a gold for XP system, done very well, and you can do if a character dies, you can do like heroic funerals for them and stuff, and that's a way in which you basically spend all of this gold, so you can't, and it's useless in game. You can't, go and hire more people or buy more armor or anything like that.
You're paying it forward mechanically and in the world, to empower your next character.
Yeah. So your character,
or a new character.
Yeah, a new character that you have coming up gets 90% of the XP value of whatever the party blows on all of that. And you can also do, outside of the heroic funeral, you can do things like erecting barrow mounds and like bury them with all of their stuff and a bunch of treasure. And if you try to circumvent this, like, okay, yeah, we did the heroic funeral, but now let's go loot it now and get it. It's like you instantly are turned into whites for your depravity. And so that kind of like disincentivizes you from doing that. But it also just explains what all of these fucking dungeons are around the landscape. That actually makes sense. So it's really, really good. And I was going through the combat system last night. It's got a lot of depth to it, but it's not burdensome. Everything pretty much makes sense. And if you basically just want to do it like we just go and roll d20s at each other, you can do that. But for people who are tactically minded, there's a whole lot of shit you can do that's really, really good. Definitely need more new and unique systems and settings. 100%.
True.
I'm trying to build a martial that combos weapons and feats to do something actually interesting to play other than I swing my greatsword. I think the more interesting thing to do is to come up with an interesting character, though, like a person. Shit, did we get a super chat already? We did.
Oh, damn.
Thank you. We got Arclight Games. Thank you. New sub. Found you guys on your review of Candela earlier this week. Nice. Liking what I'm seeing from you gents. Also, you guys put my thoughts about Candela as a system in a nice, eloquent, and cohesive video.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
That's also a big part of what we're trying to do. A lot of people feel a certain way, but may not be able to articulate or not fully. They haven't put their impressions into words or into like conscious thought. They just know something isn't right here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't feel right when I do this.
I'm not getting out of the game what
I want.
What I want.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
And
yeah,
that's awesome. We really do appreciate the super chats.
Absolutely.
As well. We have we came up with a bunch of really cool shit that we're going to be using our channel money for now.
Yes.
That's not like we don't have a ton of channel money, so it's not we're not erecting barrel mounts or anything like that, but it's going to be pretty cool. We have a whole lot of stuff planned. Hopefully I think we'll make another video this weekend.
Yes,
but we will see. Let's see here. Can't wait for that D&D virtual tabletop to fail horrifically.
It is going to be great.
What if it doesn't fail, though?
I see. I think it has to, not because I have faith in the in the 5e player base, the non-player base, the NPC base, but because it does not seem possible to me in any world where Wizards Hasbro will actually have the wherewithal to make like a competent engineering product, because this isn't, you can't just hire freelancers to just rehash some soft, Fisher Price fantasy garbage. You actually have to make something that works. Right? It has to be stable. It has to have all the functionality that you want. And there are many different permutations of things you can do in 5e or in any system that have to work, and you have to update, does the hit point do the hit points go down appropriately on the mobs on your virtual tabletop? Are they tracking conditions or whatever? Now this all seems like hell to me, but I know that's what you need to do that if you're going to do a virtual tabletop and people want to do that, which they do. You have to account for all of these things. You have to make it streamlined enough to not be incoherent.
You have to make it streamlined enough that 5e users
can use it. Yeah. I just don't see any way possible for them to actually produce something that works.
Let me see here. Let me get rid of this. We got another super chat. Wow. From Thraxis. Thank you. We love you, Thraxis. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, gents. Thank you, man. You as well. Thraxis is the gentleman who gave us our excellent and very funny nicknames of Ginger Fraser and Young Steve Buscemi. So thank you very much, man. We really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And love seeing you stop by the streams.
Always.
We got someone named Squat Bench Deadlift, which we love.
Great name.
Merry Christmas. And we'll be getting back to squatting, benching, and deadlifting very soon as well. Yeah, if you get magic, then you have options and things you get to do that feel fun. Don't get me wrong, it feels good to kill stuff, but not fun when you just get a fancy sword.
Right, you have to make these things interesting. You have to make them pop.
Merry Christmas, Bottle Cap.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, put the Christ back in Christmas. And Merry Christmas, Shauner. He says D&D players won't know that the new VTT is supposed to fail. Movement is a small thing, but it is quite transformative. Yes.
Yeah.
We were actually just discussing movement in X moments before we started this. High grade. I don't know if we've seen you before.
Yeah.
Great to see you. I think the D&D VTT will be competent, but it will be monetized up the wazoo. Yes.
That's absolutely the truth.
Even if it's not competent, it'll be monetized up. No, 100%. They're going to charge you for every new custom class or new mini model.
Different battle mats. If you want to get all the shit from the module, or from Curse of Strahd, and everything is going to have a price tag to it.
Yeah, and they'll be able to change anything.
Yeah, it's going to be the Skyrim mod store.
Yeah,
on consoles.
Online games are strictly worse than in-person games. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
If they can make something good, I'd be impressed. Yeah, I mean, even if it's good, you're right. Online games are inferior. And we've done a lot of them, and we like that because we get to play with the best players that way. But you just lose so much of everything that you get at the table, and we don't have full duplex audio where people can we're all communicating in actual real time, even if it's only a couple milliseconds delay. People are talking over each other, they get confused, and it just fucks everything up.
And a VTT exacerbates that, because not only do you have the limitations of being together online, which sometimes is a necessity, but if you're all focused on moving your pieces, not only moving your pieces on the board, but especially the GM, but potentially even the player. Now I'm also focused on, okay, I just took 6 points of damage from the longsword. Let me go into my icon.
Yeah.
Update my current hit points. Let me check the thing off for being stunned for the next 1d4 rounds. Okay. Now, we're going into a new room. Let me, as the GM, go and change the dynamic lighting so that people can see.
Right.
It's just a lot of...
Why can't I get the fog of war to go away in this one section? Yeah. The light's not responding properly. There's
all of your energy is focused on external things.
Yeah, things on shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It takes away from the imagination, which is actually why when we play online, we don't use VTTs. We just use Google Hangouts or StreamYard or whatever we have available. And you can go see a bunch of our games. And I still have not uploaded that many months old Cyberpunk session I should download that off of StreamYard after this and just upload it. But yeah, we're just playing in a Hangout because it's all theater of the mind. It's all up here, and unless you're playing something very tactical, I don't see the reason for a VTT at all.
The only thing, what I would like to see for a product for online play is a simple, easy to use means of incorporating and piping through audio.
Yeah.
Like for background music. So I love to use background music. Yeah. Songs for different locations or different situations or whatever the case may be. And it's such hell.
Yeah. That is
to get that to work.
It is now with we're using the Elgato stuff.
Yeah.
We have that now software wise, but it's external. It's not in the fucking program.
It's not in the thing.
Yeah. And it is hell because I want music in my games.
Because when I was, I've run several games on Roll20 and I don't use the battle mat. I would just use them for either the character.
Terrible way of getting music into the game. Yeah.
It's terrible does not even begin to describe it. It's
again, I haven't used it in like 7 years, so I don't know.
It hasn't improved.
It hasn't improved. Okay. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, and I know we got more comments coming in. This is something when we find an interesting comment, we tend to talk a lot.
Many tangents.
If you want to make sure we get to your comment, then super chats are appreciated, not required.
Yep.
But it just may take a while for us to get down to it.
Yeah.
Bottlecap says Hasbro is walking into the streaming market while streaming is dying. Is streaming dying?
Well, Twitch is dying.
Twitch is dying.
Yeah, I don't know that streaming is necessarily dying. I think streaming is still built on an aging framework with regards to like format and what have you. So if they are able to gild the lily and make something that is easy to use, that's basically a plug and play kind of interface, or application or web-based, however they do it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that would be a tremendous victory for them. And I would be tremendously successful, I think. Yeah. I just don't believe that they can do it.
If the other thing is, I think if Larian, I know they have mod tools because there's mods out there for Baldur's Gate, but if they do what, I don't remember, Larian didn't actually make the original Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, did they?
No, they did Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah. I don't remember who made those games, but like Neverwinter Nights,
old BioWare.
Yeah, okay, it was BioWare.
Yeah.
So BioWare, like Neverwinter Nights was
awesome.
a VTT.
Yeah, and yet they had
you could run
your own things,
run your own adventures, and if they do that with Baldur's Gate, there will be no point to the D&D VTT because it will be so inferior.
Yeah. And it's free. Well, I mean, you got to buy Baldur's Gate, but a lot of people.
But you should buy Baldur's Gate.
You should because it's a
fucking great game.
Yes.
Yeah. But that, I mean, it would be so inferior to that. What would even be the point? Personally, I really like Foundry as a VTT, way better than Roll20 and their crappy site. Yeah, that's I've heard that.
Yeah,
I know.
Foundry still. I don't. Foundry definitely looks 1,000 times better. It has much better functionality, but it's still there's just a lot of fucking shit that I gotta juggle. Yeah. And I still don't really understand Foundry.
Mr. Max recognizing game respects game based name at squat bench deadlift. Correct. We also right before we started, we watched your year-end message, Mr. Max. Your message of peace and love.
Yeah, which will not be heard by by many, but as
or us.
We get your sentiment though.
Yeah, we get the sentiment, and and it is very noble.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you, Bottle Cap, on that, but marshals are just weak. Timeout classes. Young Steve!
Hey.
Hope for the best. We got something here that's actually kind of special since this is a Christmas stream and we are going to talk about all these fucking books that I got in the mail. We have here a book by Hope for the Best. Hope for the Best is our friend Drew, who made this game called The Epic of Dreams. This is sort of a second edition. I don't know that it's a second edition, but it's a vastly expanded edition of a game that he launched a long time ago. And the book that got delivered, I think you can probably see the gold shining emblem on here.
Beautiful cover.
Is beautiful. Digest sized. The game is called The Epic of Dreams. It's all about immersive role play in a kind of like the style of like epic poetry, and
it feels like a Greek drama.
Yes,
is the feel I get from it.
Yeah. So this is a book I am going to review.
I can't wait to dig into that. I'm really fucking excited. That cover makes me even more excited. I haven't checked my mailbox.
Because like the gold on it is like raised. And, like, you can like feel it. It's embossed. It's fucking awesome. The quality of the book is excellent. This is an offset print from Mixam. And so it's got coded pages, which is excellent. I know you really can't see this with the low resolution on the stream right now, but the black on white on the pages, it really pops. Like it looks super, super nice.
and it's all black and white.
Yeah, the whole thing is black and white. There's some tiny bits of color at one point in it. But it's almost all black and white. We've done sort of like the first impression on this before in some ancient live stream we did when we went through kind of over the PDF.
Did we do it on a live stream? Or
no, we did it after.
Offline.
Yeah, okay. I just have dementia. I am going to do a very thorough review on this. It's not going to be for a while though, because
there's a lot.
This is a 350-page book, and there's a lot.
And it's not only that it's a lot. Drew has absolutely taken the right. What would you say? His first principles are correct.
Correct.
100%. So
right.
This game is very unorthodox in its approach.
Yeah.
In a good way. Really trying to impress upon the reader why and how immersion is the number one thing, ultimately the only required thing. Right. So it's very different. I'm not really familiar with the mechanics at all. I've only skimmed with you the PDF several months ago.
Right.
I cannot wait to get my book as well.
Yeah. So check out The Epic of Dreams. Check out Drew. It is it's very unorthodox, but like there's some stuff in it that there's a little bit of the language I'm sorry to say this, Drew, I found it a little bit excruciating at times. But there's a lot of stuff in here that is really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like from the first page, it gets basically everything right, that this is all about the imagination and getting immersed in your imagination, that getting lost in the game.
Yeah. And
that the story is not something that is linear. It is, you guys together exploring something like improvisation. This game
is trying to light the fire of imagination.
Yes, exactly.
In you more than anything else.
Right. And it's definitely Underwood of Woodwad. WWA. What is it? Wood WWAD.
Wood WWAD. What would Andrew do?
What would Andrew do? Who created one of our favorite games of all time, Within the Ring of Fire.
Which we did do a live stream on.
Yeah.
And an interview on.
Yeah. It was one of the big inspirations for this game. So Andrew is thanked in this game in the special thanks section. I'm thanked in the special thanks section.
Nice.
Because Drew watched one of our live plays of it and got inspired to make his own fucking game.
Yeah.
Which he has successfully kickstarted twice now. And delivered.
Yeah.
And
you can too.
You can too. This is really fucking cool. So I gotta like I said, it's not going to be for a while because I have to. This will be read very, very thoroughly and picked apart and digested.
Yes.
But yeah, really, really cool. Yeah. It also came with a bunch of other stuff. I got like apparently I bought the version that comes with all the stretch goals.
Hell yeah.
Which are around here somewhere. Maybe they're behind the books. Nope, but I found another book.
Oh yeah.
A different book. Oh, here they are. Yeah, so it came with like these also very nicely printed game resources that I haven't looked at super thoroughly, so I don't actually know what this one is. But it also comes with basically like the Circle of the Muse, which is what you're going to be using. It's basically a D20 in a circle form, not a round polyhedral. Basic rules, basic checks, and this other one that's like a children's adventure or something. It's the Epic of Beans, which I don't think is super relevant to me. But it also comes with an adventure that you can use. That is also a beautiful little book. That is black paper with white text. It is dark mode. It is super awesome. Same high quality printing. And has this kind of cool cover of this like stretched purple flesh face that's nailed down on it. It's called The Grey Orphans Book. Welcome to the World Without Skies. So really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And looking forward to more from Drew.
Absolutely.
Let's catch up on the chat.
Yeah,
and then we can look at some more books.
We'll get to the rest in time.
Let's see here. Gregory Spurgeon says, and of course, if you stop paying all of your microtransactions to bling out of your character, go poof.
Lose access to all things.
Exactly. Oh, I think we got another super chat. Whoa, we got 40 PLN, which I think this guy probably super chatted us again.
Okay.
This was previously where he gave us like 40 or 50 bucks, and we were like, whoa, and he's like, it's like 10 bucks US.
Okay.
And we were like, still awesome.
Yeah.
But he says, this is Hyperborean. VTT sucks, but my RPG buddies are spread over the country, so we pretend it's okay. We've definitely been there. Based Misasaur t-shirt, by the way. It's 4 a.m., so I will watch tomorrow. Good night.
Take care, man.
Sir.
Thank you.
It is a based shirt. Yeah. Thank you for your 40 PLN. Let me see here. We got more stuff about VTTs. Want to guess how many gigabytes my folder of maps and map assets is? I save an embarrassing amount. Yeah. Someone was also saying, your buddies are all across the country and the world. Like we've done that as well.
Yeah.
We've done it with people on different continents, and it sucks. But if you've got good people to play with, even if they're far away, that's much better than a lot of people have at their actual table.
Yes.
Bottle
Sad
cap.
but true.
I don't know much about it, but the alchemy audio that they have or want to implement sounded interesting. You can have an echo to your voice if you are in a cave, for instance. Yeah. I've heard alchemy is pretty cool. I haven't looked at it because, again, we're just not big VTT enjoyers, but there are better alternatives to Roll20, it seems.
Yes, that's true.
I think for my next campaign, I'm going to try using diegetic sounds instead of music. So that would be in-world sounds. Like
okay.
Things that
wilderness music, yeah.
Things that are going to be...
Water dripping in a cave. The creaking of wood on a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, 4D players, how's it going? Hey, a table. Oh, Crispy's here. We missed his comment. There we go. Oh, he says, hi, Max. Okay, welcome, Crispy.
Always good to see you, man.
Yeah, go subscribe to Table Runner Crispy. He's a great channel. We got more people saying hi. Shauner says, Hasbro products are all woke. No one is buying their stuff for Christmas. That's 100% true.
Yep.
Which is also probably why they fired a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, besides the work on the new main books being over with, like they're
not turning the profit that they were,
and it sucked. Like all those people got fired right before Christmas, and I'm not gonna dance on the grave of their jobs. But I think a lot of people really got this wrong. I almost made a video about it. But all of the big like 5e YouTube influencer channels are talking about how evil Hasbro is and how bad the CEO is because he took a $9 million bonus.
Evil capitalist.
Yeah, the evil capitalist system, blah, blah, blah. But basically, they're essentially arguing that, you know, the company should just continue taking losses and make no adjustments.
Yeah.
And these people should just have a job until the whole company goes bankrupt.
Which is,
like,
I was about to say a non-YouTube appropriate word.
Don't endanger the monetization.
Yeah. Bad ideas from bad people.
Yeah, but what it comes down to, and this is something that Mises says, is that in the market, the consumer is king. And the consumer ultimately is who is deciding what gets produced in what quantity, and by virtue of that, who has a job in what industry and what they do. And the consumer is absolutely merciless. They don't care if you have to pay your rent. What they want is the best product at the lowest possible price. And WotC is not making products that are selling well enough. Mm-hmm. They suck.
Yes.
So it's like, who the fuck?
Yeah. This is
so in reality,
this is what you want.
Yeah. Well, that's not the point is,
right.
It's not the fault of the CEO.
Yes.
It's your fault because you did not enthusiastically part with your dollars.
Yeah. You did not listen to the words of Scott Gabay.
Right.
The chosen prophet of Gary Gygax, our Lord and Savior.
Yeah. So many bloated folders.
Yeah.
Imagine a Twitch D&D campaign with titty streamers only. The male, I bet it would surpass Critical Role for a night. Probably.
Oh yeah, it would.
You've seen that, right? The new meta on Twitch.
Yeah.
It's like the chicks with the bars.
The bars, just
Bill Allen. Thank you for joining us,
hey.
Man. We subscribe to your channel. We thank you for all of your wonderful comments that you left on some of our videos. And everybody go subscribe to Bill Allen. He's got a whole bunch of videos. A couple of them have like millions of views, which is really cool.
Crazy.
And we hope to someday do that. But thank you so much for stopping by. We got hi, Daniel. Mr. Max 07. Maybe it's a face or something. I don't know. Foundry is anti-roleplay.
It's a VTT.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah, I think that's kind of what you were saying. Like it's got all this other shit that gets
it's better than Roll20 in that it can do more and it has a much fresher coat of paint. But it actually accomplishes what it says it's trying to accomplish of like having a tabletop. Yeah, but it's still you're rearranging your tchotchkes and you're setting up format like it's the wrong focus. Yeah. Wandering Mage says that we've got lots of problems with music on Discord, background music in games. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah. The easiest way that we found is now, since we have a couple of Elgato pieces of equipment, like the microphone or the Stream Deck Plus, I think, that comes with audio software that allows you to internally route music from different applications, sound from different applications to one audio output that can be used for the stream. So that simplifies it a lot. There are other programs that do that as well that you can get for Windows. Yeah, you can do it. Mac. I remember it sucks and you have to pay for them. It sucks. You have to pay for them and it's and they're bad programs. They're bad programs. They're not fun to work with. Very finicky. Arclight Legends. Such a thing exists already. Grim Jim runs an adult game with nudity on Twitch. 186 gigabytes of maps and assets. Oh, geez. Oh, dude. Man. Do you really need it? Yeah. Although I don't have any maps, but I have thousands and thousands of NPC pictures, like face shots of people. I have pictures of evocative landscapes that I use, but no maps. Right. WotC has this bold idea that everyone using Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, and Roll20 are super excited to rebuy all their material again just for their VTT. Yeah. Well, but if they were able to offer a truly competitive product that blew it all out of the water and made it and was easy to use, like really easy to use, and I don't want to say idiot proof because, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
that's the thing. They're going when you make things idiot proof, though. Like
you can't. It can't be as good of a product, or the product has to be limited in scope.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We must be catching up to when we showed Hope of the Best game here. He says, "Hey, everybody's saying that looks cool. That's a nice looking book, Drew. I like these little novel-sized books. Yeah, I really like the digest size. The digest size. Yeah. It's really good. I do think if you're going to have lots of tables and stuff like that, I want a full-size book for that.
Right.
Just for the readability, because that is a problem.
Understand what you're providing and how much you're providing. Because sometimes the regular size is the appropriate way to go.
Yeah. So like here, we have Wretched Bastards, which is a setting book for the Wretched role-playing game. And for the setting books, this is a great size.
Yeah.
It's readable. You only have, there are some stat blocks and things like that.
But they're small.
The main rules are not what you're referencing in this.
Correct.
This is going to be about the content of the setting, whereas the main rule book for Wretched, which I do have behind me, but it's under a bunch of other stuff. That one is a little harder to navigate and read as an actual rules tome. I want something bigger than that, which is, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's completely. I've been running a Wretched game for a while, so it doesn't get in the way. It's just a kind of a little niggling issue that
I almost think like that Wretched book or the Wretched verse book, the core rule book, or other similar books that are a smaller, a tighter, cleaner system, rather than doing a full-sized regular RPG product. I don't know how survivable these products are, but I wonder if basically doing the Wretched verse in a spiral bound, would that make it easier? And I feel like it might.
Maybe.
I think I would like that, like a digest-sized spiral bound thing.
Oh, that would actually be really.
That would be really great.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that with an RPG product.
Right. I will say, as much as I loathe this book, Candela Obscura,
I really like the size of it.
It's a good size.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit bigger than Digest, so it's big enough that you can have.
Yeah, it feels like like an art book, or it feels like a journal or something.
Yeah, which I think
not
was
like a
vibe.
Moleskine, but like an old timey journal or something. Yeah.
Like it's got. Yeah, it's a decent size for a book for a game like this.
Yeah.
If it were a game, that would be that's the part that's missing.
Yes, the game.
Yeah, but the digest size stuff is cool. Let me just move some of this shit off of here so I can get to the other shit. Also got, and his name is escaping me. The guy who recommended this, the guy who made this game.
Yeah, what is username is.
What his username is. But in the last stream that we did, he let us know about his role-playing game called Streets of Peril.
Yeah. I have also purchased the book as well. It hasn't gotten here yet.
Right.
As far as I know, maybe it got here in the mailbox. I haven't checked it since landing.
So it's sword and sorcery in like a Renaissance setting.
Yeah, that's how
I've never seen.
Yeah, that's how he pitched it, and that alone made me interested.
Yeah, it's got
I love the art.
On camera, the pages look a little more glossy than they are. They're not glossy. They are coated, though, which is really nice. The art is really nice. It's got a consistent vibe to it.
Yeah.
Some of the pieces are kind of wild. Like you get there's one in particular of these two guys fighting, where one of them is
the end, right? Yeah, there it is.
I don't know if you guys can see this. One of the guys is, it'll probably be out of focus if I get it too close. Anyway, he's like smiling or like grimacing or something, but you can see each one of his teeth individually. Right. So he looks like completely fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's just in a rage. This is like clearly a long-standing rivalry.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems really cool. I have not had enough time. I've only been able to skim through it a little bit so far.
Yeah, and I haven't even done that, but I really, really, really want to.
Yeah, but it seems pretty cool. It's got a vibe to it for sure. And we love that. We do love a vibe. But I think it's a D6 dice pool system, or might not be a dice pool. Maybe it is a dice pool.
I think it is a dice pool.
It is a dice pool. But you get exploding sixes as well.
Which is awesome.
I fucking love exploding dice. Dice explode when they result in a 6, allowing players to roll an additional die and add the result to the test. If the player rolls a second 6, they roll again and add the result to the total, continuing to do so until they fail to roll a number 6.
Yep.
This is awesome. And it is a dice pool, correct. Just standard, like your total versus a difficulty value. And
some of the classes sound quite interesting.
Yeah.
From skimming the table of contents.
Yeah. So this is very cool. It's also this book, not only is the art super high quality, this is a very nicely produced book. Physical quality is excellent. Stitched binding, ribbon, and every bookmark for it. It's awesome. It's from Broken Blade Publishing. It says, "Welcome to the Cimbrian Empire. Complete tabletop role-playing game, sword and sorcery in a Renaissance setting, intuitive dice pool system with exploding dice, fast and deadly combat, inspired by historical fighting." And that's the thing. This guy is like
a HEMA guy.
Yeah. Like he does like actual historical fighting and like reading the manuals, the kind of stuff that Flame Zombie I think is into.
Oh yeah.
Player-driven stories focused on character ambition, highly customizable characters, exciting and unique magic system, detailed world with a bestiary full of horrifying threats. This is it's a game. It's got a bestiary in it. It's got, I think, from just my skimming it, it's got everything you need to actually play it. And after Candela Obscura, that's actually something that's important to me.
Yep. What a concept.
Yeah, what a concept. So I guess we should probably
catch up here.
Let's see here. Even Candela's cover is a whole lot of nothing. It doesn't set any vibe like other horror games it wants to be. 100%. It's just
I actually nice. Don't mind the cover. Because it's
got like esoteric symbols on it and it's green.
When I see that cover, it's a bad cover because it doesn't match what's in the book.
Yeah.
But because again, the cover there and the size of it reminds me of like an investigator's journal.
Yes.
And if this actually had a unified style that it leaned into, I think that cover would work. I think that would work at least as an alternate cover. I think it should have had a maybe a standard cover with with art or something.
Yeah, there's a premium version that has a better cover. It's same sort of symbols and shit, but it's like shiny gold. There's more to it.
That should have been a deluxe cover, and that should have been like leatherette.
Right.
So you make it look like an in-world document.
Right.
I would not have. I don't hate it as it is, but it fails because of all the reasons we talk about in the video.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the fault of the physical integrity of the book or the picture on the cover.
Yeah. But I get what you mean.
It says he actually can see it.
Nice.
Nice contrast. Good. Shauner is arguing with people about using VTTs. Show me a YouTube vid where Foundry end users are role-playing in their game session.
Yeah.
Challenge, difficulty impossible.
Yeah.
Using background music can really complicate your session if you're recording it with the intent to edit it before posting.
Oh,
correct.
Yeah.
I would not add background music anytime you're intending to record. Yeah, the only way that we got around that on our Cyberpunk game was that we happened to find this guy called
White Bat
Audio, who was recommended to us by a subscriber.
Yeah.
Who does synthwave cyberpunk?
Yeah, that's all like
royalty-free streaming music. And it's all really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, we were able to have that as an undercurrent. Our last session didn't have it because that was after I had upgraded my computer and I hadn't installed any of the audio routing programs or anything. So that is actually why I haven't uploaded the thing, because I wanted to add music and I was I don't want to fucking do this. I'll just throw it up. I'll just throw it up. It really complicates it because YouTube is very, very strict about copyright.
Right.
And they'll just, it's like, they'll be like, it's fine. You can mute this section that has the bad music. It's
but
like, great, now I have 5 minutes of silence.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He says, rip it to shreds and let me know what you want next. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The thing is, the core of the game sounds pretty cool. I think it's, and the language is very much giving the vibe of the epic poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was too flowery in some places, and I just want more clarity on things. I still don't know what the muse is. I haven't gotten that far, but I still don't know what it is. I just want the terms defined in a clear and sort of technical manner. But on the flip side, don't make Old School Essentials, which is just like a washing machine manual of how to play the game with no vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. There we go. Shauner, that's totally fair, lol. I was wondering if there was something specific in the design of the VTT that was anti-roleplay. No, just that no one's actually doing it.
I mean, I think it's what we were saying. I think it's the fact that you're putting you have to put your focus on managing the VTT.
All the shit.
Yeah, it's you have a certain amount of attention and a certain amount of energy, and you're burning through it, dividing your attention.
Yeah. Squat bench deadlift. Oh man, this guy sounds like a man of culture.
Yes.
To be honest, my last group on Foundry did a lot of role playing, but they were people who loved it more than combat. They were the sort to actually join Discord servers just for more role play. That is what you want.
Hell yeah, man.
Bill Allen says, I have played on many online games that use VTTs, but for all of the online games I run, I just use Zoom. Exactly.
Yeah. That's all you need.
That's the thing. Like if someone if we were gonna if Lou was gonna run a game and he's like, I want to use Foundry or whatever, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'd join his game.
I just but I'm not paying attention to it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna run the don't make me do anything with the
VTT. Because I won't.
All VTTs suffer from players not role playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like most non-VTTs suffer from that.
Well, yeah, most games
games suffer from the players not role play.
Right.
The only thing is that these people are putting it online so you can see it.
Yeah. For all of its fault, it's not the VTT's fault if the players don't want to.
If they don't want to do it in the first place.
Yeah, they don't want to or can't. Now, it is the case that using a VTT with all of these variables that you can manipulate, it encourages and it tricks a certain type of people to thinking that's what matters.
Right.
But still, it's ultimately their fault for being stupid.
Theater of the mind maxing. Always. Yeah, Crispy knows. Though to be fair, most games don't role play, VTT or not.
100%.
Even for in-person games, I don't always use minis and terrain. Sometimes it just isn't necessary, and Theater of the Mind makes for a better game. I agree. And something RPG is Dumb has said a couple of times, I think if you play with minis, you're going to remember the minis. And that's I don't want
correct aphorism.
Yeah, I don't want to remember the minis.
Yep.
Many real life games suffer from players not role playing at times. Yep, everybody.
Sad but true.
We just love our subscribers. We got the best audience. I bought Within the Ring of Fire. I'm waiting for the delivery.
Oh,
nice,
dude! I cannot wait until
I definitely
because
you should. You know, it would be a great service. You should do, Max, one of your how to play videos.
Yeah,
like how to play Within the Ring of Fire. After reading it and then talk about it, just like what you did with Burning
Wheel. Yeah, because
it's not as complicated as Burning Wheel. Like
no, but what is?
Yeah, but what is? But it would be. I would love.
If anything, it has a problem in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And if I can go on a tangent, if I could try to conscript Mr. Max's help here, there's a game. I think on one of our initial live streams, I sort of showed back when I was living in Virginia. I showed a it's not a quick start, but it was like a promotional like magazine type. I'll call it a quick start of this game called Gods, the role-playing game. And it was, I think it came with like an adventure called like Eshmaradon, like Armageddon, but I don't know some fantasy word. It's made by Arcane Studios, who I think they do a bunch
company?
No, not the Dishonored people, but I've been trying to. I got that I think in 2018 at Gen Con, and I've been trying to figure out when this fucking game is coming out because it looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's made by a French artist. And I tried subscribing, and I did subscribe on Twitter to Arcane's feed, but it's all in French, and now my Twitter feed is filled with French. So I've seen pictures on their website and on their social media of a physical product, but I don't speak French.
So you don't know what it is.
If you could find anything about Gods the RPG by Arcane Studios, I would appreciate it.
All right, we got Shauner. Squat bench deadlift. I really doubt your group to any role-play.
Shauner is the ultimate judge that we'll all have to face when we die.
Yeah. When you die, it's Shauner doing a live stream breaking down your life. Oh god. When you're only guy role playing, it makes it hard though. I understand it's unlikely. Literally hours of in-character dialogue, character development, etc.
Yeah.
I think actually with a name like Squat Bench Deadlift, and the fact that he's saying that he likes role playing, the chances that he does role play are extraordinarily higher than like anyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Red Diamond, that sucks when players don't role play. Have to kick them out and vet for better players.
Correct.
That is correct. Hey guys, 47 people watching, only 16 likes. Smash that like button. Yeah, we would actually really appreciate that, guys.
Please do.
It's telling us we've got 64 now, which is huge. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you could, please press that like button so we can get the algorithm on our side.
Yeah.
And thank you all for stopping by.
Yeah.
I did something experimental in my campaign and gave it an ARG aspect to it as well. My players loved it.
Interesting.
What is ARG again?
Like augmented reality game.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what that would mean in a role play aspect. Maybe leaving like an what the fuck is that scavenger hunt or something, or I don't know. It's interesting.
Sean,
Tell us more.
I really doubt you're in character. All right.
Oh.
Jeez, he has no ever. He says, Jesus, Shauner. No chill tonight, I guess. I wasn't, but the rest of the group was. Point blank. I don't mind if all the wrong kind of players get herded to the VTT. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Me too. It will force hobby shops to stop catering to mutants. Yeah.
Yeah.
No more.
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. No more Strixhaven books. No more wheelchair minis.
Because game shops, none of them cater to tabletop gamers. They cater to tabletop wargaming and board games.
Yeah, and the
and MTG and whatever.
And that shop we went to when we did the micro meetup. What was it called again?
Emerald Tavern.
Emerald Tavern. Yeah. Seemed like a good store. They had a lot of different RPGs. There was a lot of it was like Fate, Blades in the Dark, D&D, shitloads of Pathfinder. They also had Vampire. They had a bunch of different stuff, but there was one book, I don't remember what it was, that you pulled off the shelf.
Which one?
That had it was just like rainbows and looked like it was
I think it's crayons. Called Overlight.
Yeah, and it was like 400 pages. Yeah. It was like a big book. And it was like, who the fuck is this for?
Yeah, I know who it's for.
Well, I know. I drop hints, stuff, and lore in and out of game. My players are trying to pin it all together and figure out what it means. So far, it has helped them understand the lore of the world. This must be for the augmented reality.
Yeah.
You'd think these large companies would learn by now that going woke is not working. However, there is an even worse cancer in the games industry: complacency and making terrible products for full money.
Well, they feed into the same. It's driven by the same terrible impetus.
One may say that idea is regarded. This was in response to your YouTube unfriendly word, I think.
Yeah.
Hasbro will show a profit until they close their doors. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It'll all be on the books until they go poof one night.
Mm-hmm.
Go woke, go broke is real. After COVID, I bet a lot of reckoning has happened, and they're looking at bloat. Yes.
Yeah.
They don't need 100 parasitic sensitivity readers. 100%. And the other thing with this, like, even if it's like they don't literally go out of business because they're making all these woke products, people are starving for aspirational, non-woke shit. There is such a gap in the market because it's all it's made now. And it's like, look at any movie that comes out, like Top Gun.
Yeah.
It's just like masculine virtues, flying fucking planes, and shooting down the bad guys and doing daring, adventurous things. Massive success. Also helps that it's like one of the most incredibly visually
like Tom Cruise is the last movie star.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a bunch of stuff like on Amazon. There was that show with the guy who played Andy on Parks and Rec that is like he's like a ex-special forces guy and has to go rogue or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like Reacher, like all these shows where it's just a show.
Yeah.
You know? Or it's like it's just a show.
Yeah.
There's no messaging. It's just good storytelling and
people
good
are saying
action.
That even with I obviously haven't watched it and won't, but like the Mario movie.
Yeah.
And what's that movie that came out? Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla -1 or +1 or whatever.
Whatever. Divided by 9.
Divided by 9. Yeah, divided by 0. It's like people are desperate for this sort of stuff.
And we touch on some aspects of this in the vampire video we just did, where one of the fundamental problems in this moment right now is we don't have anything to draw from, or we've forgotten or are afraid to draw from anything that we feel intuitively, naturally as humans, as, like you said, aspirational, or that conveys meaning, or anything resonant.
Awe or wonder.
Exactly.
Or beauty, or
it's just everything's
romance, love, like
everything is a copy of a copy of a copy.
And it's all cynical and like
it's all cynical, or it's cynical, or it's like the worst aspect of style over substance, this sort of heartbreaker mentality where I'm just going to slap the most garish coat of paint on something, and that's going to substitute for my lack of creativity here. You know what I mean? So if there's again with Epic of Dreams, Drew felt really strongly. He was really inspired by something and went all in. He put all chips on the table,
which is the fucking way to go.
That's 100% the way to go. Even and you don't need to just make one product. You have more in you than just one,
and you'll learn
one thing.
Yeah, you'll learn as well as you go. So it's
do that.
Make good stuff. Von Mises for the win. Absolutely. He is the man. WotC no longer has any ideas that any idea that is handling
a holy relic.
Yeah.
Or as good as.
I think basically he's saying that they don't even know what they have with D&D.
I mean, that's true. But that's always been true for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so big, they're like the Titanic, hard to turn, and they have people purposely steering the ship into the iceberg.
Right.
Yeah. Jesse Barbeau, Burbo. Never seen you on our stream. Welcome. How do you think we best go about bridging the gap role-playing finds itself in right now? My last group was very socially woke and broke up after 1.5-year run, in part because of cultural arguments. Ooh, okay. So it sucks that your group fell apart, but at the same time, I think the problem solved itself.
Yeah, it's good. It's ultimately good that happened, because nothing is going to bridge. There are some gaps that are are too far to cross, and it's only going to cause you pain, trying to do so.
And the thing is, like, and this does not mean don't play with people who have different values than you. It's don't play with people who can't even meet you halfway on something.
Right.
Because I have a feeling that the game falling apart because of cultural issues was not on your end.
Yeah.
It was most likely these people making things an issue at all times. Right. And that sucks. But this is like the thing that we've said for our recipe. And if you guys go back, we have an episode of the podcast called, I think, like How to Run Great Games or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we lay out our rules for like, this is how you game master a good game. And our first rule is that when you sit at the table with your friends, you set the intention. You say, our rule 0, and this is not rule 0 in the sense of like, change the rules of the literal game. Our rule 0 as principles for running a game is that everybody is on the same page and everybody is here to role play. We then realized that we have a rule that's even prior to that. So our rule -1 is choose your players very, very carefully. It's and it's hard because sometimes you just want to play with your friends, like totally get that. But so many, like almost every problem at a table comes from gaming with the wrong people.
Correct.
Correct. So that's the thing. Like that was it's just the wrong group of people to play with.
It can be a lot of work, a lot of front-ended work, cultivating the right group of people.
Yeah.
But it's 100% necessary, just like
and worth it.
And worth it. It pays dividends immediately once you find it.
I think we got some more super chats here.
Oh, nice.
Boss Bully Boy says, "Hey, Merry Christmas, fellas.
Merry
Any
Christmas.
Chance of doing a stream with other like-minded YouTubers in the RPG genre?
Yeah.
Diversity and Dragons, perhaps."
We have done.
He's
we were on Diversity and Dragons.
No, we weren't. We've never been on his channel.
Oh no, I was thinking about. I think we had an exchange.
We had an exchange with him. Yeah,
yeah.
You're unless you're having like precognition.
I am.
So at any rate, we Diversity and Dragons reached out to us on Twitter and asked if we wanted to do a stream together, and we said yes. And so
that's right.
We will. We haven't worked out the details just because like we're still getting through,
holidays
and travel and all that stuff. At some point in January, we'll probably either go on his show or he'll come on our show. We'll do a crossover stream with him.
And we have done and would like to more in the future. We talked to Crispy.
We went on Mr. Max's channel.
We've been on Basic Expert.
Yeah, we've talked to Basic Expert.
We were on Aaron the Pedantic
show. Yeah, we're gonna have Victor Gorchev coming up in the next couple of months because he's got.
We talked to Macrease. Well, he's not. Well, he is a YouTuber.
Yeah, he is a YouTuber. Yeah, Alexander Macrease, Autark, had him on. So yeah, we're gonna do more of that over time.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a scheduling thing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for the $5.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And for $10, oh man, Willie M, thank you. Background music complicates editing is my main beef. Mixing the background song audio into the player's audio streams makes it hard to edit later.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And cuts cause continuity jumps in the audio. Yeah.
I don't like doing it via online, but I prefer to play in person if I can, and it's much easier to just do it that way. But you are right. Yeah, getting not only for editing purposes, but for getting the mix to be just the right level for all the players. And if you're pumping it out to
and your players' volumes are going to be all different.
Yeah,
it's a fucking nightmare.
It's a production.
Yeah. And thank you for the $10.
Thank you very much.
Very much appreciate it. Hungar the Starvarian, thank you, man.
Hey,
$5 says good stuff, guys. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
We really do appreciate it.
Hope you and DM James had a very pleasant, very Merry Christmas.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. We lost our spot in the chat, so we're going back up until we find it. Let's see. Was this the question we were on? Yes, that was the last one.
Yeah.
I just left my last group, the heavy R role players, because they were all woke.
Ooh.
I kept my conservative views quiet. Yeah,
that is surprising. I have not met any like truly woke people who were role players, or if they were role playing, they were quote unquote role playing like diversity hires in the world.
They were doing transplanter.
Yeah,
RPG.
which is why I've also left. I've left many games for that reason. The Dragonlance game, the long Dragonlance game using 5e that I was a player, and I didn't like 5e, but I love Dragonlance. There was a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh man, we're way behind on the chat.
Damn.
Because we got Mr. Max saying 07 is a military salute. Fucking boomers. Because that was just, oh man, yeah, we're like way behind. I'm not liberal and I'm not conservative. I'm just in the middle, but I even have to say the woke stuff is getting out of hand. Well, here's the thing. Even the woke people are starting to say it's out of hand.
Yeah.
Candela Obscura. I've spent some time on reading the Reddit.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
When Reddit is getting exhausted.
Yeah. That's exactly. Like there are people in this chat where they're like, does anyone else think that this was just like too much? They're like, I'm a disabled person, and they're saying like, you know, like don't play disabled people like this and blah blah blah. And like, and like it's just comment after comment after comment of them, and they couldn't. The thing is, they couldn't fully admit that it was bad.
Yeah, they can't say
it. They can't commit to it, but like you can tell the undercurrent is they're just like, oh God, come on, can we just stop?
Yeah. So desperately want to take the mask off.
Which is the thing. It's gonna like it has a shelf life. We're winning. We're winning. This has a shelf life. It will come to an end.
Yes.
Probably not entirely, but it's not going to be the dominant culture for much longer. I don't even think it is the dominant culture anymore.
No, it's as long
because
as
they don't have any. The power has been taken.
Well, wokeness is a tool of the state.
Right.
For additional power.
It's lost its edge as the weapon, you know? Like
it's lost its edge as the weapon, and the weapon has become too unwieldy. Now, whether or not they can, quote unquote, put the woke away, I'm skeptical of, but...
Yeah, I think they gave people brain damage.
Yeah, they gave people brain damage, and they can't... The state can't backpedal.
They can't undo it, yeah.
They can't undo it. But nevertheless, even that being the case, it's not going to be leaned into.
Right.
So the lifeblood is going away. Its power. Right. Its power is fading.
Yeah. Foundry is very flexible with mods, but the inherent limits of not being around each other can't be overcome. That
correct.
is 100% correct. I've actually thought about that demo that Lex Friedman and Zuckerberg did with the augmented reality.
I did not watch it. I saw that it was a thing. Like
the fidelity is supposed to be amazing, and it's got like instantaneous audio, and I was like, oh man, that might I was like, am I willing to spend $5,000 on the Bugman headset just so I can play with the people I want to play with online? That Grim Gym stuff is wild, haha. Have not seen it.
I've not seen it.
Yes, I'm on the left. I am on the left basically on everything, economics, healthcare, etc. But I can't tolerate some of the insane cultural stuff happening on the left right now. Yeah. It just sucks. Everybody's tired of it. And like we were saying,
no one human wants this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we were saying earlier, and honestly, to Mr. Max's point, his video that he made today that we said would fall on deaf ears for us because we like to hate on people. But he's right. Like,
yes.
All of this stuff where everyone is letting ideology get in the way of like being friends when otherwise they might actually be friends and be able to play at the same table is awful. Like it's just destructive, and I am generally going to, as long as people are not stepping into my life with their ideology, I'm willing to play with them. I'm willing to talk to them and all this other stuff. It's just that so many times this is a quality of many on the left, more so than the right, that is not reciprocated at all, which sucks.
Yeah.
And it's nice. You're basically on the left here, and that you're hanging out with us. We are definitely not on the left, but like we just said, if you're willing to hang, we're totally cool. We absolutely like that. And we don't think that ideology should get in the way of people's friendships or anything like that. I use Roll20, so everyone's sheets are in one place and everyone rolls dice in it.
Yeah, I've used Roll20 for that, just to get everyone's sheet in the same place and to use a dice roller.
Sorry for the repeat, but after finishing our 5e campaign, I'm running some one-shots with pre-mades in a few different systems to find the group's new interest. Best systems to shake off the 5e bug? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what are you trying to shake them off? What direction do you want to take them?
And how far? Because it's like, does it have to be a D20 system still?
Right.
Because there's lots and lots of D20 alternatives.
Like you just got Shadowdark. If you wanted to take it to an OSR.
Right. So,
yeah,
it's I would say this is more of a modern game with like
no, but I'm saying as
OSR
as something
stuff.
To lean them in that direction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This would actually probably be perfect for that. So Shadowdark, I'm sure everyone's familiar with it, is sort of like a 5e OSR-ish game. It's a dungeon crawler. I don't think that this is necessarily good for long-term campaigns, which actually might be good in this scenario.
Right.
Because you could lure them into a different style of game, a more deadly game, with a very different focus than they're used to in 5e. Get them, try a new experience system than 5e. And it doesn't have to be, you don't even have to approach this as this is a long-term campaign. It's like, yeah, we're going to play a couple sessions until everyone dies,
Right.
Which would be probably pretty good. Now that Shadowdark's in my hand, I will be reviewing this as well, alongside Old School Essentials, which is under a bunch of books. I'm not going to grab it. Because I think these two games occupy such similar spaces, but are different enough that it's worth talking about both of them. My read on Shadowdark so far is that this is an extremely competently made product. It's
that knew what it wanted to do.
Yeah, it had a
clear vision.
Specific, clear vision, and it absolutely delivers on that.
Yeah,
the art is incredible. One of the things that I actually was a little disappointed in was the paper choice for the book. It's high quality. It's thick. It reminds me of the exact paper that's used in Old School Essentials. And what I don't like about it is that the black ink just doesn't pop the same way that it does in the PDFs. In the PDFs, the blacks just look incredible. Like they absolutely pop. And I think if this had paper that was like coated, it would pop more, because it's like you look at the Epic of Dreams, like I was saying, the contrast on it is phenomenal. This game, you lose some of the contrast, and it's all about the contrast in the art. And I primarily backed this book because I liked the art, which is generally not how I buy products.
Although in seeing it, like I think they're, even with the non-coated,
it still looks great
because it's a grainier feel.
Yeah.
Which is itself a vibe. It still works. But I do agree with you.
Yeah, but it's but what? Okay, so to answer your kind of question, what would be a good system? This actually probably would be a good system, because it's going to have things like advantage and disadvantage mechanics that they're used to, but it's going to be a big departure from standard 5e, because you might only have one hit point. You have it mixes in a lot of things. Like it has sort of the DCC spell mishaps,
which are great.
It has a lot of things in this book I can actually use. The random encounter tables for like market encounters, and it's just things like roll an 18 to 19, a fire breather gouts flames, 25% chance of a misfire. Like just like these small things of like just like little details. These are things that I'll use. It's a different style of game entirely than 5e, but is familiar enough mechanically that this is probably a good way to get them off of it. Now, the problem, well, not necessarily the problem. What this is, though, is that it's going to lead you to the OSR direction, which might not be where you want to go.
Right.
If you want to go in like a very different direction, then you're basically just going to have to approach them and be like,
this is going to be different.
This is going to be different.
Especially if you're switching genres. If you want to take it to a sci-fi place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like, I mean, vampire, like horror or something. Like,
yeah.
Then
I would say just go all in on a game that does that genre the best as you see it. If you want to have a more like just straight pulp thing, maybe Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what where you're trying to take your group. Where you're trying to shuffle them.
It's yeah. So I would say this would be a good starting point.
Yeah.
It's training wheels for getting into the OSR. And it's got good stuff. Like the thing is, I'm definitely going to run Shadowdark at some point. Mm-hmm. It just won't be a long-term campaign.
Yeah, a palate cleanser.
Yeah. If you do want to take them in a much more in a better direction in terms of what D&D is, I would recommend Adventurer Conqueror King. The first edition I have right here. However, the Kickstarter for the second edition just completed a little while ago, and the backer PDFs are out. If you can still back it. If you contact, it'll be at Archon on Twitter, Alexander McCrease. You can contact him and you can still pledge late, and you don't have to get the Poplar Wood slipcase. Of course you should, but I'm sure you could just pledge for like the PDFs or whatever. And
it'll be for sale afterwards.
Yeah, and it'll be for sale in about a year. But the game is already ready. The PDFs for that don't have any art or layout, aside from like it has chapter headings and tables and things like that. The game is done, and it's awesome. It's so cool, and it really is taking. You have the classic kind of dungeon delving experience, but it evolves naturally as your characters progress into a different sort of game where you're, founding kingdoms or conquering kingdoms, and you're getting into, actual large scale wars, and it's a very different style of play, and a super, super well thought out system that has been extremely well play tested.
So I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a different style of play. It's a style of play that encompasses much more because you are doing the adventuring.
Now
there's a different, more realistic tack that it takes, but it's just more. It's more in scope, more in comprehensiveness, more in logical consistency.
Yes. And also he does have a source book for that. It's like the Heroic Fantasy Companion or something, which I think is meant to be sort of like, if you want to do a more like superheroic style of acts, like a 5e sort of a thing, you could do that too. It's just going to be a much, much better game. Nice. And the whole game is like the incentive structure of the game will make your players behave better and do cooler shit. I agree. The culture is kind of out of control. Oh, we got some more super chats. Sorry. Got to get to those. Bottlecap says, I'm working on using cards in the TTRPG I'm designing to better keep track of items, injuries, effects, etc. Do you think cards impede on roleplay? Not by necessity.
No, I think the way I've seen them, it usually is the case, but that's just how I've seen a lot of cards being used in games where they're just extra doodads. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be the case. Something that I think does a game that uses cards, it doesn't use it in terms of like a resolution mechanic. I'm not familiar with it, but I think Aces and Eights uses like a poker deck. I know I just said it. Savage Worlds uses a straight deck of cards for their initiative system, but a game that uses cards excellently in a way which evokes the setting and the roleplay and the vibe is Torg. So Torg is a setting that it's our world, but it's been invaded by multiple different realities. So there's an area where it's all this sort of Stone Age land of the lost. There's a cybernetic Catholic Church world which has come in. There's a sort of a cyberpunk Japan thing. There's a bunch of different like realities, and when you cross into these different realities, when your characters are doing actions, Torg uses like when you're doing combat, especially, I forget if it's each round or each number of rounds. For a certain amount of time, there are these things called cosm cards. So a cosm is the world, the reality, and it imposes a certain like physical law. Like for the pulp world, it might be some sort of heroic action kind of thing, or there's a world which is very like Doom inspired. It's the law of like suffering. So like damage is like everyone inflicts more damage or something. But there's also different things that the players can, different cards that each player can use to shift shift the action that are in keeping with what the vibe is. But it's very particular to that world. So I'm not opposed to cards as such. I just I generally don't like extra doodads,
Yeah, my thing is, it's like if it's something I can just write down on the character sheet.
Yeah.
Like I don't want, because
I'm not really sold on condition cards.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of right now, because it's like I'll lose them.
And I don't need them.
Yeah, I don't need them.
I can remember that confused means this, or whatever. And the status effect should be simple enough for me to remember.
And if I have the book, I can look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you again for the $5.
Thank you very much.
Josh Smith for $10. Thank you very much, man. Sorry for the non sequitur. Stumbled onto your channel a couple of days ago and have been binge listening since.
Nice.
You've made my holiday drives a whole lot easier. I don't always agree, but for another $10.
Oh my God.
Man, thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to explain your views in detail without resorting to X thing is bad, X people are evil, Y is the one true way, because that's the way it's always been. Too much.
Yeah, it's such a stupid take, and it's so prevalent. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for the $20. It's incredible, man. And I'm glad you like.
Yeah, glad you like. It's like,
and not
like
the other thing is, you don't have to agree with everything we say.
Yeah,
we don't expect people to agree with everything we say.
Correct.
We don't agree with everything people we like say. So
true.
Yeah, totally good. That means you have a brain.
Exactly. Which is a big distinguishing factor.
All right, so let me see here, because it loses our place every time we do that. That's for 5e. Red Room stuff is on sale for 15% off.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Check out the Red Room.
Check out the Red Room. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Stuff coming up on the Red Room. Next video, actually, the one about Candela, is going to be also what to play in place of it, which is somewhere up here, Wretched Epoch. That'll be a big part of the video. But they also talked to Miguel, and he's sending us a couple other books as well.
Yeah.
We already own a bunch of them, and we'll be going through reading them.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing a book on
one of their smaller products. It's not one of their Wretched products, but one I really like called Welcome to St. Cloud.
Which is awesome.
Which is so good.
Yeah. Grim Jim looks like gothic Austin Powers. With fat hands, but he's cool.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Grim Jim. I know what he looks like. Yeah. So I've stayed away.
Yeah. You could try Dark Heresy, Vampire the Masquerade, Legend of the Five Rings, Rogue Trader, Blades in the Dark, maybe some Pathfinder or 3.5e D&D.
Yeah.
Dark Heresy
is very complicated from what I remember.
It was a D100 system.
It is.
It didn't seem that complicated. It just, we failed every single roll we made in the session. And I think I got like turned into a vegetable basically. But it was cool. I had a great GM, and
I would like to.
I love 40K.
I wish I knew more.
Yeah.
I think I played in a 2-shot by. Do you remember? What was his? David Daniel Ducker.
I remember the name.
Yeah. He ran a Rogue Trader game. It was fun. It did not last long, but yeah, definitely pick up like Dark Heresy or Rogue Trader or I forget what the other ones are. Like, don't do 40K in D&D. Yeah. It's such its own world.
I think we got another. Sorry, let me. I clicked on this one already, so I'll read it. I'm a lazy GM, so Owlbear Rodeo works pretty well when it comes to a VTT. Mostly useful for things like action scenes. Anything else, in my opinion, works better in Theater of the Mind. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I get why people use minis for combat, like, because it does help really adjudicate the actual rules. If you're like, you know exactly where everything is. However, that detracts from the immersive imagination experience. And I think that most of the time, unless you're doing something truly complicated, people have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with Theater of the Mind.
Same.
For $5, we have Andre. I can't say your name, but this guy I think is pretty cool. He's left some good comments for us. Merry Christmas. Christus S. Notus. I'm running an Elder Scrolls one shot tomorrow in 5e.
Nice.
Still have to get used to Axe. Wish me luck. Any tips? For 5e, I don't have any tips because I've never actually played
it. He's running an Elder Scrolls game. Oh, in 5e. I'm still. Oh, okay. Any tips? I would honestly, what you need, lean into the Elder Scrolls part, because that's what people are coming for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some stuff is not going to work well. Obviously, the Vancian spell system, like there's no classes in Elder Scrolls. But don't. My advice would be don't apologize for the areas where the D&D like framework is going to clash with the Elder Scrolls world. Just say, yep, it is what it is. We're going to use this as a system just to do this one shot, and focus all your creative energy on whatever situation is happening in this one shot, and just lean into what excites you and your players about the Elder Scrolls. I love the Elder Scrolls. It's just unfortunate that Bethesda doesn't love the Elder Scrolls, and there will never ever be a good Elder Scrolls game ever again.
Yeah. Especially if they keep using that same fucked up engine.
The fucked up engine. But even besides that, it's like the Elder Scrolls lore community is so insane. I'll say that in the worst way possible. It's there's never going to be a coherent or interesting expansion or illustration of like the lore beyond surface level fantasy.
Yeah. OSE is the Fisher-Price D&D, and probably why the OSR loves it. Great art and layout, but AD&D 1E and Axe are far better due to their scope. Yeah, so yes, I agree. And OSE even has some Fisher-Price art in it. It has some good art in it, but there's some stuff in there where I'm like,
what were you thinking?
Yeah, like what were you thinking? This actually looks like a child's cartoon.
Yeah.
And not a good one either. Not one I would have watched as a kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I just don't care for it. I don't fucking care. It's it is brilliantly laid out. It's exactly what it wanted to be. It's a product with vision.
See, I would say, but its vision stems from a fetishization of
BX.
Of BX. Without anything new. Like, say what you will about Shadowdark, that at least has a gimmick. It has a vision.
Yeah.
It has a style to it.
Right.
OSC doesn't have a style beyond recapitulating like a 70s milieu in its art.
Right.
There's no setting. It's just here's a better laid out, clearer presentation of something that was already made 40 years ago.
Right. Yeah, with no, and again, it wasn't trying to be anything new. It wanted to just collate all those rules because you couldn't get BX anymore.
Right.
You know,
no, it's
there's
it's fine that is what it wanted to be, and it did that, but because that's all it wanted to be, I have zero interest in it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I never played AD&D 1E, but I do have the DMG right here. Reading it very occasionally at this point, but I think you're right. I mean, Ryan Howard said something. No, he wrote a Substack article about this. How like BX is basically like the kind of common language of fantasy RPGs at this point, the kind of starting point. And I think he's right. Like everyone, even when people say like, "Oh, this is an OSR game," they really just mean it's BX. It's BX with some other thing attached to it. Which is why they're all exactly the fucking same. And I guess it's a strength of the OSR that, like, I mean, it is that lots of stuff, you have lots of cross compatibility and you can do all this, but it's like, I want something with vision and not the literal same vision of the specific thing done in the 70s.
Right. Which is itself not even really a vision. It was something that was made piecemeal, like moment to moment, year by year. And so a hyper focus on trying to like define that in terms of like a style and an aesthetic, I think it's ultimately doomed to the same kind of issues which we talk about in the vampire video, where you're just trying to wear its skin.
You're just digging something up.
Yeah, you're just digging something up.
And I mean, like, I don't know. It's cool that it exists. It is, but I just don't give a fuck. Like, it's not a product for me. And I'm much more interested in Axe, and I'll get through AD&D eventually as well. Mostly I'm interested in the DMG because there's a lot. Guy says some really, really cool turns of phrase. Like there's some stuff in that where you read it, you're like, whoa, this guy was really smart. Like that's cool. But there's also a lot of it where I'm like, I don't care. Like, I so don't care. So thank you.
But yeah, thank you very much.
And big agree on it. Big agree on it being Fisher Price.
Yeah.
So we come back up here. Lazy GM. Where the fuck were we? Here we go. Dark Heresy. That's what we were talking about. Owlbear. Let's go down to what Drew says. I've thought about spiral bound products, but I feel like they should be workbook content with space for personal notes.
See, I don't
agree. I would just like it as an option.
I don't. Some people must feel very differently, but I hate writing in a book that, like, I'll just buy a notebook for cheaper.
Yeah.
You know?
Bottle cap with the index Candela is like 203 pages. That is probably the dimensions of the book. Yeah. God damn, we're way behind.
Shit. Primeval Fantasy.
Physical format. I still have my 3-ring
Harnmaster
book / folder. Each page is thick and laminated. Surely he made only a tiny profit on each sale because of the quality. Yeah, I don't have any books like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing. That's also
Blade. Oh, sorry.
I've heard about Harn and Harnmaster. I know nothing about it, but it seems like an incredibly autistic world with crazy maps, and I want to get into it to like understand it at some point. So that's on the list of stuff to try and research.
Yeah. I am also glad it arrived before Christmas. It was very prompt delivery. And like I said, extremely high quality book. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to reading it.
Super excited to dig in. I'm hoping I'll get my own present when I go to my mailbox tomorrow.
Hackmaster had exploding dice. It was called Penetration. But each time you rolled the max, you subtracted 1 from the total, made D4s deadly.
Interesting. So
subtracted 1 from the total.
So like you roll you roll a d4, let's say. You roll a 4, so it explodes. You roll again, you get another 4, and then you roll another time and you get a 2. So that's 4 plus 4 plus 2 minus 2. Is it just...
I don't fucking know.
Is it just to, like... I don't know why you'd subtract it. Like, lean into the damage that you're doing. Subtracting 1 seems... Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, and I probably am.
Mm-hmm. When's the video about Candela's world lore coming out? I get to run a single session of it on Saturday and likely be my last time playing it. Most likely we're going to be working on it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
soon.
Yeah, soon. I do, like, hopefully by Monday.
Yeah.
I would say. Are you going to shit on Werewolf 5th edition? Because this removal of pure breed kinfolk and metas is pissing me off. Also, they handled rage way worse than the hunger mechanic. I just read about the rage mechanic and it sounds fucking stupid.
It's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Which is such a shame because, like,
they copied and pasted hunger, but made it like, but it's like, even if you fail, if you critically fail in rage, then it's like a minus on something, unless you were intending to do violence, in which case it's a bonus of +4 now or something like that.
It's completely botched because the premise of the hunger die mechanic would work perfectly for Werewolf Rage. They just fucked it up.
Yeah.
We will talk about Werewolf. However, I have never been... Werewolf has never really appealed to me. So even in the old Werewolf the Apocalypse, I'm not as knowledgeable with the lore, and my opinions on the world are not as clearly formed. But I do have a lot to say about Werewolf. I just need to collate my thoughts and go back on the previous editions and really figure out where I stand on some things. Yeah. But yeah, Werewolf 5 is not good, which is sad.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted. I wanted
to finally like Werewolf.
I wanted to like Werewolf. Like, okay, give me a reason to like it.
Yeah.
Make it pop for me. And they did not.
Mr. Max will do a how-to on Within the Ring of Fire. He's planning on doing a bunch more in the coming year.
Yeah.
His how-to videos for everyone.
They're awesome.
Yeah, go sub Mr. Max. They're really good.
Really good.
They will teach you how, like, if someone's like invites you to a game this coming Saturday, you can learn what you need to know to be a player in that game and play effectively by watching his videos.
Yeah, he explains things very well.
You're not going to know every single permutation or anything like that, but it's
but you wouldn't anyway.
Very clearly explained. Yeah, very clearly explained way of, like, you'll know how to play. You're not going to just be sitting there asking questions the entire time.
Yep.
Sebus says, new to the channel, you guys are by far the best RPG based channel on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
99% of content I've seen over the years is garbage.
True.
So keep up the good work.
We will.
Yeah, big true, and we definitely will. And thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate that. And sorry, I am skipping over some stuff.
We're trying desperately to get caught up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Arcane did Deathloop. This is the video.
Yeah.
And that sucked. I see nothing about gods on their site.
These bastards.
Patty's Parlor. Sorry.
I'm just so this game looks so evocative, and I'm pissed off that they're like trying to hide
it from you.
It's some sort of conspiracy.
Welcome, Patty. How you doing, man? All good about you being late. It doesn't matter.
Man.
We are still streaming. Bill Allen saying hello. Oh God, my username has made me way cooler than I imagined.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, 100%. I usually stream on Thursdays, but I had a cat accident.
I saw that. Like, so spilled a bunch of water and shit on your office.
Oh God, had to clean the office. Glad you guys are alive. Now I can clean with some good background noise. Nice.
Happy to be of service.
Are the LGS at the LGS? Did you have any luck finding real players so far at the LGS?
The local gaming store.
Oh, the local gaming store. So we met couple of guys that were really nice.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, we've got a table at the moment that we're playing at. But I think these guys didn't actually live in Austin per se.
I think one guy lived in Pflugerville, and I don't know where.
Yeah.
The other guy's from, but
yeah, it was really cool. We're looking forward to getting more people together and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, they follow us on Twitter. We got it's either DJ or JD. I think, and I hate that I can't remember it because I see him on Twitter all the time now.
Yeah,
and Jerry Thompson, two guys on Twitter that follow us. They comment on our stuff. Really nice guys, really knowledgeable. I think JD was or TJ. I'm sorry, I'm getting your name wrong.
Yeah.
Was one of the Ascendant,
playtesters,
yeah,
which is cool,
which is really cool.
Yeah, we'll do more of that in the new year.
Yeah, we're gonna try and make that semi-regular, like once or twice a month, probably starting in like February. My old local game store has really been into Warhammer and Magic the Gathering. RPGs aren't highest on the priority list.
That's always the case.
Arcane Asylum.
Oh, okay. About Gods on the 18th of this month. Apparently the delivery is coming soon.
Soon.
Yeah. Okay, good. So hopefully that means that has to be the French version.
Yeah.
Which means hopefully they're going to translate it. But I want that game.
Yeah.
I want that game. It better be good.
I'm not sure that Diversity in Dragons is looking for immersive role play like Matt and Nick talk about.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, we've got kind of different stuff.
But, yeah, but that's we've talked to other people who aren't like Aaron the Pedantic, or not everybody has the same focus we do,
right?
But, which is fine.
Yeah. So they wouldn't mind setting up a talk with BLG talking about Diversity in Dragons.
Oh, okay.
I sail the sea, so I have lots of PDFs. I just went through every system to sort out the woke stuff in companies. The list from Diversity in Dragons helped, and a forum post on the RPG.
Oh, yeah. The list.
Double D doesn't roleplay in his games. Postmodern. Oh, wait. Hungar said, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Postmodernism, Marxism, Cloward Piven strategy.
Communism. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what Cloward Piven strategy is. I know what the other words are, though.
Yeah.
Alexander Martinez, they know what they have, they just hate it. Talking about WotC.
WotC, yeah.
My friend group is all over the political spectrum, but we're normal enough that we don't argue about it or force it into everything all the time.
Good.
Very good. That's how it should be. My group was openly talking about their hate of J.K. Rowling and supporting violent rioting and looting to get what they want. Things were tense when I said rest in peace to my queen. I'm Canadian. So he's talking
the Queen Elizabeth. Yeah.
Man, that sucks.
That sucks.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
DD did say in his last stream that he'd love to have you on. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna work out the details on it. We're definitely gonna talk to him. God forbid you don't have a bunch of players who want to interpret your historically inspired fantasy world into a pastiche of American politics in 2016, Trump allegory and all. I know.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Ugh. Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna scroll down here because we're way
Let's
behind.
see. Yeah, what's that?
It's a long march through the institutions, been going on since the 60s, finance, education, media. So we're all talking about all the infiltration going on here.
Agreed.
There's a lot more trash now, but there are way better treasure than some previously thought.
That is also true.
I think you need to realize that there is no culture war. It is merely culture changing and evolving.
I don't disagree. Culture is always changing and evolving, but
right.
This is not an organic thing. This isn't come from this isn't like a blooded soil, like upswelling of like the Volk, This is a
it's also
it's a subsidized mind virus.
It's also clearly war because both sides are taking scalps.
Yes.
Taking people's jobs, destroying lives. Like there are sides and they do in some cases literal violence. But most there's fighting going on. So I think it's not just culture changing because this is also this whole thing of it it's just changing implies that there's a sort of it's all evolving in one direction. We're all
slowly lumbering towards progress.
And it's totally not. because our culture, like the culture, is bifurcating. It's going two very different directions, with large. I mean, at least two directions. There's two main directions and a million little offshoots, but they're not compatible. Basically,
the most organic thing about wokeism as such is is that it is it's the end state of like the rounding errors, the underlying issues of liberalism are now
and conservatism
which is
liberalism. Diotomy says, I'm also on the left. I just want to talk about role-playing games. Politics invading non-political spaces annoys me. I know. If it sucks. Everybody hates it. Try Cowpunchers or Makuhito. Yeah, from Basic Expert to they're just games. So
I think is Cowpunchers Basic Expert?
Yeah, that's Basic Expert. That's his Western game.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Which I can't remember if it uses exploding dice. I don't think it uses exploding dice, but maybe it's D6s. I can't remember. He did a video with Mr. Max on it, though.
Okay, nice. Makuhito is great. And I think
really cool. I think I ordered my print-on-demand copy, my at-cost one. And he's still working with the printer for the offset print.
Got it.
Which I think he said is like very, very different than preparing a book for print on demand as he's learning. He's one-man band entirely.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that to come out though. Makuhito's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys got your copy before mine arrived. Mine is in New Jersey still. Must be Shadowdark.
Oh, probably.
Hey fellas, glad to finally catch a stream. Been watching a bunch of videos and I'm really amped to claw my party out of the ditch that is 5e. Nice. What are your all thoughts on Castles and Crusades?
I really like Castles and Crusades. Troll Lord Games are awesome stand-up people.
They followed us on Twitter, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And they were right to do so.
Yeah.
It definitely is a certain style. If I remember correctly, I think it's sort of a bridge between 2e and 3e. But they have a number of source books for their own setting, which I can't pronounce. But they also have a number of source books for inspiration and implementation of different real world mythologies, which are excellent. I really like the mechanics. I really like the vibe. I like the classes, and I like I like the developer's attitude and the way they hold themselves. I love Castles and Crusades. It's something I want to do more of and explore more of.
Yeah. I've heard many, many good things about Castles and Crusades. And I think that 28mm RPG was running Castles and Crusades with might have been Crispy and Mr. Max. So there's a lot of good, there's at least one good live play out there of Castles and Crusades. I didn't buy Shadowdark, kind of over D&D and the OSR. Yeah,
that's fair.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
People talking about how to avoid our monetization of ads on the channel using ad blockers in Brave browser, which would be the way to go. Or alternatively, I got so tired of ads on YouTube because like I had an ad blocker on the computer, but anytime that I wanted to use my YouTube on my phone or on the TV, I was getting ads and I was chimping out like fucking bad. And so I finally just subscribed to YouTube Red for $8 a month or whatever and got rid of the fucking ads forever. And now it doesn't affect any device I use, which is awesome.
Nice.
People recommending some other games. At DJ Widget, try 13th Age. It's a nice gateway drug for 5e players. It's just different enough, but with a D20 system. It's also got great role-playing elements.
Yeah, I played in a one-shot at a convention of 13th Age. I'm glad to see that it still has a following. I know that really popped off when it came out, maybe I don't know, like mid 2010s, something like that, early 2010s, I don't remember. It feels like it's been a minute since that came out.
Talking about cards. I liked Through the Breaches poker deck resolution mechanic. Very on theme for a Weird West type.
Interesting.
Game.
I'm not familiar with that game.
I really love Shadow of the Demon Lord. Great game.
Yeah, I know that got a lot of hype when it came out. It seemed to me to have like a big like Diablo inspiration. I don't know how well it does Diablo. If that's even true. But I've never played it. I do like their character sheet though, which it's like this weird demonic pentagram or something, I think, because the world is damned. If I remember correctly, I think every game sort of concludes with the apocalypse or something. Right. The Demon Lord gets out.
Patty says, I want to pick up Wretched Interbellum, which is their newest setting. It's the time period my wife really wants to play in.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that actually might be one of the ones that he's sending to us.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty stoked about. I could be wrong on that, though. Well, let's see. Rechanging systems. I'm a forever GM, tired of running D&D and Pathfinder, want to do stories and genres that aren't Fantasyland. Also want to discourage dice mechanics other than...
want to encourage
dice mechanics other than D20.
Good. You should. And if you're the forever GM, that means no one else is stepping up, and you hold the power.
You hold the power, yeah. You do
not need to be guilted into doing something you want to do.
Right.
And if a GM... It's the worst game is when a GM doesn't want to be there.
This is the thing. There is a GM shortage. Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
If no one else is stepping up to GM, if they're going to be like, yeah, no, we don't want to change systems. Well,
all right, then
we're not going to play a game then.
Yep.
Do you want to play a game? Because I want to run this. Will you give it a shot? They call their bluff. They will fucking play your game.
Yeah.
Just choose the game that sounds the most interesting to you and say, we're going to try this.
Yeah.
You have all the power.
Exactly. Never forget.
Dark Heresy 2E was actually a lot of fun to play.
Cool.
Without minis, rules for movement, range, line of sight, cover, etc. become hand wavy. They can, for sure.
They can, but also a lot of the rules with regards to tactical combat are excessively... what's the word? What's the opposite of hand wavy? It's excessively like demarcated. You know what I mean? If I'm running towards someone in combat, I don't know in the moment or even have an impression that I'm moving 35 feet.
Right.
I don't have a natural organic awareness that I can run 30 feet in 5 seconds or something. You know what I mean? Like I understand what you're saying. It can happen, but the opposite is not necessarily like the exemplar.
Yeah. If you have hardline combat rules for movement, sight, etc., that makes battle maps and minis necessary. At least for me, because I'm a very visual person. Again, like the thing is, I see the utility in the game aspect of it. Like for sure, I do see it, but the thing is for me, it's the trade-offs.
Right.
Of everything. You gain the tactical precision, and you can much more easily and quickly follow the combat mechanics and rules and play the game exactly as intended. However, that cuts into the experience of the imaginative aspect and the immersive aspect for me, which is that's a big trade-off for me. And the thing is, I don't think that doing it theater of the mind is necessarily then completely hand-waving everything away.
No, absolutely not. It has to be grounded in reality.
By any means. Like I keep track of it, and I don't just do this mentally. I will sometimes on my end draw out a little map with positions so that I could just on paper so I can describe where things are. I've also done it with I've used dice or loose change in my pocket to quickly, like if the players aren't clear, they're like, well, no, hold on, like tell me where is this guy?
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, this is you. These are the two things. There's a guy over here. Like I'll set them up, but getting the map out and then drawing out, in dry erase marker, where all the furniture is, or you know, this is a hill and everything like that. Like that to me is where I start getting into the mindset of like, I'm going to pre-plan this crazy encounter.
Right.
And this
it makes me plan it out like a video game.
Yeah, it makes me plan it out like a video game.
Like a raid encounter.
And I really don't like that. And the use of the minis is people get really attached to their mini, the way it looks. They want to use it for everything.
Yeah.
They want to use it outside of battle, and I fucking hate that. Like that drives me crazy. Yeah. So for me, it is just it's about the trade-offs with it.
Agreed.
Crispy says, I've run very tactical combat with cinematic style and theater of the mind. It is possible if players are active and paying attention to each other.
Yes,
and where they say they are in the world. Yeah, that's correct.
That's another thing. Crispy is absolutely right. A lot of people can't visualize
anything.
Well, it's not even that. They can visualize, but they're being passive. Mm-hmm. They're sitting in the movie theater wanting to be told a story. They want to be entertained. They are not actively engaged in the scene or actively engaged in their character. And that is a tremendous problem.
Yeah.
Crispy, you are 100% right.
Well, hold on. I got to see what Mr. Max was agreeing with here. My problem with minis is that it's very easy to get into a board game mindset. Yes. And start role-playing and start just thinking about actions and bonus actions. Cinematic combat is a billion times better.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not only that, but like with the battle mat too. Even in the moment, okay, we're fighting in a tavern. I have the battle mat out that says that there's a bench here and that there's a water barrel over there. So rather than me thinking, imagining in the moment, like, okay, this is sort of what the inn looks like, and I'm going to be creative with what's here. I'm going to stab someone with a fork. Well, there's no fork on the plate on the battle mat, so it's not that. You know what I mean? Like it immediately curtails like the boundaries of the imagination
and the illusion.
Yeah.
Cursive Yig. Anyone who has grown up playing with G.I. Joes or other action figures knows that minis don't detract from roleplay, lol, or Barbies. No. And then Sly Blue Demon replies, G.I. Joes and action figures didn't have actions and bonus actions to play with them. You just did it. It's nothing like minis.
Right, because when you're playing with G.I. Joes and action figures, it's just I have a guy, and I have Superman. I'm sort of I'm flying him around. I'm a kid, and I'm imagining completely freeform, all kinds of stuff. It's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same thing.
I won't use them for superheroes though. Crazy movement rates. Well, unless you're playing Ascendant, because there is a specialized Ascendant supermetric point distance ruler that you can use, and apparently you can get like city maps, like gridded city maps, so you can simulate moving around the map that way. Maybe you're just not using the right system. And we will sometime in February. Macrease is going to come back and talk to us about Ascendant.
Which is his superhero.
Yeah, his superhero game. Which we're very interested to talk to him
about.
I played with G.I. Joes, but don't use minis anymore. I never used minis. They aren't necessary. Oh, men of culture.
Yes.
I'm with Yig on this one. People that don't roleplay with minis or maps, probs isn't super likely to roleplay anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's always the problem.
It's always the problem.
It's always the problem. People aren't going to roleplay, but people who are not going to roleplay are not going to roleplay. Like that is true. How do you get the G.I. Joes to stand up in a 1-inch square?
The eternal question.
Yeah. I wonder if an abstract system for keeping track of positioning could work for theater of the mind. Positions like front line or back line and things like contextual cover.
Yeah, a lot of games do this.
Yeah, a lot of games do that, and I think that like GMs just kind of do that as well. Like the thing is, like, most of the time when I'm having fights, they're not in. I'm not doing like the warehouse Max Payne. There's tons of cover. Everyone's shooting. It's like there's a couple of groups of people and they run up and they all fucking start swinging swords at each other. You know? Like,
but even like, again, like the Max Payne thing, like that's it's everyone's responsibility, GM included, to imagine in the moment when describing a character NPC or a player character's action what they would do. Okay, so I'm in the hotel lobby at the end of the Matrix. There's the GM's described. There's all these columns. There's a front desk at the far end, and there's revolving doors, and there's a balcony. Looping around this. There's a mezzanine. Okay, with that, I'm going to lean into my imagination. My character has a gun. He knows that other people also have a gun. I'm going to run behind one of the columns, and I'm going to get down. And I'm going to go to the column that's closest to the front desk because I want to use the alarm. I want to call the cops or something. Like, this is, you have the freedom to do that, to get as imaginative as you can within the bounds of the description and within the bounds of what makes sense in the scene.
So this is we role play like crazy with minis and tactical combat, no problem, which is cool. I believe you. My thing though is there is a trade-off,
right?
And for you, it's an acceptable trade-off for the tactical combat to get that. For me, it's like it's on the other side. And I think, like you're saying, you can still role play with, and have tactical combat with minis. You can also have tactical combat with theater of the mind.
Correct.
In either case, one of the things is going to be slightly diminished, I think.
The sliders are going to be higher or lower.
But it is just a trade-off. It's not an either or thing. Use Lego figures, be a man. That's the way I've played since 77. 40 years! Thank you for welcoming me to your channel. I really like the content and commentary. Come upon you all with the Candela Obscura talk, and it's very refreshing to see a focus on roleplay.
Nice. Thank you, man. And welcome. Like happy to have you.
I can see that Arctic Blitz Gatorade, young Steve Buscemi.
That's right.
Dum, dum, dum.
That's correct. It is Arctic Blitz.
Gonna scroll down here, but any more deep dives on J. Scott Gabay? Dude is nuts.
I mean, what else is there to say?
I know. I think we basically said what we need to say about.
Yeah, he's completely.
We captured the entire mentality in that video.
Yeah, or lack of mentality.
Like we got his religious devotion to WotC and
WotC and the Gygax.
His very odd views on how the world works and friendship.
The
mannerisms.
He is the bug man.
Yeah.
He is what you all will be if the enemy has their way.
Right.
It is weird. I am still subscribed to him. I don't know why. I haven't watched a video since we did a video on him. I know he's big into Vivek. Vivek, yeah.
Oh, Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Ramaswamy.
I was thinking
it didn't occur like the Elder Scrolls too. Like, oh god.
I was like, this what?
Yeah. Which I've not watched. I do not care, and I don't want to subject myself to whatever his real world opinions are on politics.
I mean, for like a month or two, I watched every video he put out.
Yeah.
And
which
that's
is a feat.
Lot of videos.
Yeah.
Because he puts out like 6 or 7 a day.
It's like
fucking insane. But the other thing is, I also like, it was a funny video.
Yeah.
It was a fun video to do. I don't feel the need to pick on the guy though.
Yeah, this guy.
Like, it was really just kind of like, we're going to talk about this funny thing that Nick found, but like, he has so many enemies.
It's also not. Yeah, it's not going to matter. This guy is living in a completely different world of his own imagination.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's out there, like making games or like influencing the industry or anything like that.
Yeah, he's like a RPG lolcow.
Yeah, that's all he is. He's a lolcow.
Yeah.
So I don't have any interest in kind of revisiting that.
Yeah.
And like, I think we made fun of him to the extent that we found funny and needed to, and I don't feel the need to jump on him anymore.
Yeah.
Someone else will.
Yeah.
Morning, kids. Bum. Red, I am a game designer. Perhaps we can talk about it. We kind of missed what you were talking about.
Red Diamond?
Yeah.
Cool.
But please do.
Yeah.
Bottlecap says, at Red Diamond, write down what you want to focus on when you implement a mechanic or idea. Ask yourself if it enhances the original vision you had, or if you want to change from that vision. That is a very good, very good comment. There is a culture war. Yep.
Yes, there is.
Night, gents.
Oh, take care, guys.
We'll do great things in 24. Yes, we will. And Primeval Fantasy will also appear on our channel at some point.
Yes.
We have not. I mean, if he wants to, we're inviting you. I think we've invited you before, but on stream. But we'll get you on Twitter at some point and actually
set it up.
There's a reason why classes exist, but that doesn't mean they need to be as rigid as in past games. Castles and Crusades is awesome. Those guys rock. I used to think the siege system was a gimmick, but it works really well in play.
It does.
Scrolling down. Patty's Parlor saying good
take
night.
care,
good night to you, man. And maps and minis are needed for complex combat scenarios, but how much of that does the average campaign actually have? Don't need a map for tavern brawls. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I could see it being useful for certain things. I also, I am interested in getting into the actual mass combat axe war game, the Domains at War battles. That sounds fucking awesome. And to be able to integrate that with the tabletop game would be cool. But I don't. Yeah, it's just a trade-off with minis and battle mats. We'll see how this Axe game goes.
We'll talk more of it as we get into Axe.
Yeah, because it might become necessary at some point. I don't think it will, but we'll see. And the thing is, and if it does, I will not be using minis. I will use.
I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to buy a shit ton of.
Well, I'm certainly not going to fucking buy minis at this point. That's not. That's not an option. But I will be using tokens like pennies or something.
Yeah, I have that shit around
because that to me is this is just abstract positioning.
Exactly.
We don't need to talk about fucking no one's focusing on.
Yeah, he's got.
Oh, look at they brought up the dragon mini.
Yeah. You know? He's got a little potion bottle on his belt.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Minis might be beneficial on a battlefield then. Yes. If you're just having a 3v3 in the street or something, why bother? Exactly. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it's agreed. There may also be a time and a place for minis where the cost benefit of having a battle map makes more sense to do it in that sense. Yeah. But I haven't encountered.
We'll
get
see what we think.
Hold on. I find that maps and minis help you visualize something in your mind. You could be next to a door, but to another pet, they could be outside. They aren't psychic. Yeah. And the other thing is some people we had someone comment on one of our videos. They have aphantasia where they literally can't visualize things in their mind. They can't see the apple.
Yeah.
And they're like, this does make the game immersive for me because I can't imagine it when I use the minis. And I'm like, okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's you get a pass.
You get a pass.
But also I have an imagination, so
this also again, there's a degree of skill involved in any activity, and so you should as a GM you should be doing your best to make concise and clear but evocative descriptions of the scene, and as a player you should be trying your best to take that fuel and filling in the blanks and really paint the full thing vivid. It's also, it's not indicative of a failure of either theater of the mind as such or with your skills as a GM to have occasional clarification language. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And if someone is believing they're inside a building and someone believes they're outside,
that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You probably haven't. The GM probably has not described.
You done fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. GMs must not be control freaks. Let your players contribute stuff that makes sense. You do
100%.
Shootout. A player says he jumps behind a big potted plant. There's a big potted plant.
Absolutely. If it makes sense to be there.
If it makes sense to be there, and it's a relatively small detail. If you're like, I duck inside the open elevator shaft, and it's like that was not there. Like you can't do that.
Like,
you know.
What are you doing? Then you fucking break your neck and
die.
die.
Yeah.
You chose this, not me.
Yeah.
I didn't have an elevator shaft. You imagine this. Kill yourself with it.
Pet should be player autocorrect. Yes.
Yeah.
We got you. I found drawing rectangles on a whiteboard is a good compromise between theater of the mind and tactical maps.
Okay, like abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theater of the mind has always been my style, even in tactical combat and dungeon exploration. Minis and battle maps are anathema to immersion. Yeah, and so this is actually something in Axe, like you're doing the traditional in the dungeon crawls. You have someone who is the mapper, who is mapping the terrain basically as you go, and I would not want to have them be minis walking through that terrain and through that dungeon,
right?
And like telling them on the grid, because I want to see what fucking map they draw.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a much more sort of
weird
real like interpretation.
How did you get that from that one?
Yeah, exactly.
But okay.
And you have to be clear. About it, about what's going on.
I'm interested to see how that plays out.
I am too.
Because the potential pitfall of that is you have a player who's really obsessing over it. Like, okay, well, is it?
Well,
there's another hallway. Like, how is it? 25 feet or is it 35?
Well, this is the thing. If you don't have the mapping proficiency, the GM basically you can give like vague instructions, so they can
get it wrong.
Yeah, you're not literally saying, okay, you advance 4 squares.
Right.
You give it like. So it's like you're walking through this dark tunnel. You might have gone, 100 feet, maybe 150. You're not sure.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. If you do have the mapping proficiency, then the GM should be giving you a little bit more precise information, but it's up to you to draw it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it works.
Yeah.
In play.
But again, it's like if I'm putting them on the fucking battle mat and I'm drawing that for them.
Yep.
Like, what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. Exactly.
What I'm imagining might not be what Boblin the Goblin is imagining. That's true. I mean, there is incongruity between what people are imagining.
Yeah.
Even with relatively clear instructions or descriptions, people can still imagine different things.
But generally, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be so incongruous.
Yeah.
It should serve to add to the drama. Like, okay, Mr. Max's example about the potted plant. I didn't imagine a potted plant specifically, but someone else did. Okay, there's potted plants in this lobby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's our visualizations of the scene are not so discordant that I'm imagining a castle, and he's imagining a hotel lobby.
I just don't understand how I'm supposed to roleplay in an hour-long war game style combat. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yep.
But that's also something we've talked about, and Max has talked about before, where like you go into there's like combat mode. It's like a different style of thinking in the game. It is kind of a break almost from
at that point. I mean, if you're I don't know precisely what angle Domains of War takes in Axe, for example, but when and if there is a situation where you are basically playing general and you're moving troops, that's not a character roleplay action, and so that is by its definition, or it's you know what I mean, like it's a slightly different activity, which is happening, which I'm interested in exploring and I'm willing to entertain because that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
In this particular circumstance.
Right.
So, we'll come back with our thoughts once we've.
Let me make sure we got all the super chats here. Yeah, we did. Okay. And of course, I lost our place. God damn it. There it is. Okay. Maps and minis can at least bring a more cohesive vision. That is true.
They can do.
Yeah, it's like we said, trade-off. But again, we've been saying trade-off, and the conversation's been continuing.
Yeah, I don't
we're still
think
way behind.
Yeah, I think we've said our piece on minis versus Theater of the Minds for tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Something about immersion. We're still talking about minis. Oh, this is the end. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Last comment. Haha, reminds me of when I first tried to get my buddy to play tabletop role-playing games and explained how it worked. And he went, why, I've been playing video games my whole life. I don't need an imagination.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
That's rough.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been going for a little over 2 hours. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Call it. We're at the end. Yeah.
At the end here. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Hope everybody had a great holiday, and we'll have a great New Year.
Great New Year. Yeah,
hopefully people aren't working on Monday or aren't working tomorrow.
Or
have a half day tomorrow.
Have a happy New Year.
Yes.
Look forward to our next video coming out, hopefully early next week, and then a lot more to come.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you all in 2024.
And remember, no apologies.
No compromises.